Hi everyone. How's everybody doing today? I'm super excited. Today is the first episode of my Get Your Life series on the WunTv network. And on this network, we're going to be doing some big things. So you guys make sure you go check out the website to see what scheduled shows are coming up. Make sure you go like our page. We have some beautiful content with some beautiful people, and we're here to do some big things, okay? So first of all, this show is called Get Your Life with April Bassette, America's favorite life coach, and I specialize in habit and behavior change. So this first episode is really going to be about me explaining who I am to you so that you can get to know me without per se meeting me personally. But I want to build a rapport with everyone. I want you to feel like I'm your best friend that's going to motivate and inspire you to be the person that you want to be. So I'm going to take some time really quick and explain where I'm from and just a few things about me. So, we're going to start with, I am from Chicago, Illinois. I am a native. I currently live about 40 minutes from the city. I've done a lot of traveling in my lifetime. I have. My goal when I was younger was to see the United States. Everybody wants to talk about traveling outside of the country. I wanted to travel inside of this country and meet all the different people from different regions and, basically have experiences, because I've always been taught and I always knew that experiences make us who we are. And then, as a youngin', talking to a lot of adults, you'd be amazed how many adults have not seen their own country in which they live. It's like, people who haven't even traveled to 5 states, you know what I'm saying, just to check them out. And driving through states does not count. I mean, actually being in a state, interacting, seeing what the city has to offer, meeting people, socializing, things of that nature. So as well as I've also traveled, I've also lived in several different places. So I've cultivated a lot of experiences. So as a child, this is what they say, that we kind of already know what it is that we want to do. So my journey has been a tough one. We're trying to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a psychiatrist. That was my thing. That's what I wanted to help people. I wanted to help further the minds of people so that they could be their best selves in this time-space reality. And what I noticed as I started to get older was I didn't really like the fact that medication is being prescribed to individuals. I felt like at the time that there was a better way to do that. I wasn't sure how or why. I didn't even know why I felt that way. I just knew that I did. So around about 17, I dipped off into political science because I'm like, I can make big changes in people's lives dealing with the political system, because, I was taught that that's where people go to help the human masses evolve. So I didn't know that was a huge lie. But anyway, in studying political science, I was bored out of my damn mind. Like, seriously, I was like, this isn't for me, because I'm just not interested. And anything that's for you, you're going to be super interested, super passionate about learning about it. And the passion was not there. It was not there. So, in studying political science, that took me to sociology. And sociology, I'm trying to watch my mouth. I tend to cuss like a sailor, so I'm trying to get that under control. But sociology messed me up. Like, seriously, it flipped my whole world upside down. Like, I think one of the monumental things. Okay, first of all, you shouldn't be crying in class. Okay, I took like 2 semesters of sociology, and notice, I mean, it was several class sessions that we had where, if not, some people, half the class would be in tears, including the professor. You know what I'm saying? So we're learning some, in my opinion, some dark truths that were put into books and talked about like so matter-of-factly, like this is a norm, So one of the things that really messed me up was when we got to talking about media. Okay, so we got to talking about when a TV was invented and how companies went about marketing. This kind of hurt my feelings at the time because it was such a shocker that they would hire hypnotists, psychologists, psychiatrists. Like, they had whole marketing teams that were geared towards, basically, I call it cheating, like programming people, brainwashing them into buying their product. And I was like, what kind of crap is this? Like, this is put in the books. This is, they're teaching the masses how to do this. Like, this is normal that we're hacking into people's brains and getting them to buy a product. Not because your product is that great and the greatness speaks for itself, and so people love you and love your product because it's great. No, it wasn't none of that. It was literally cheating and hacking into people's brains. So that messed me up. So at this point, I'm thinking that the world is dark. Like, who would do this? And I mean, these are the higher ups that are doing this. So I'm just like, I was a culture shock. It was like, what kind of world do I live in? I don't even feel like I want to have children. What kind of person would I be to bring children, into this culture? Like, I really went through a dark, dark phase studying sociology. So let me tell you, honey, I ran. I ran and I stopped watching television altogether. But what I did do, which now I know is totally ass backwards, what I did do was I kept watching the news. I'm talking all the news, you know what I'm saying? The worldwide news, ABC, all of that. I was watching all the channels, and, like most people, I was like, you got to keep up with the times. I was taught that some of it was fake news, but for the most part, I figured that I would be able to decipher through and know what was going on with the masses. And so I moved to Atlanta, and I was watching the news one day, and I was just like, I can't take this. Like, this is terrible. Every time I cut on the news, there is some ugly crises dealing with children, whether it's molestation, children being kidnapped, whatever. It was super disturbing. And so for a young adult that's already lost, I don't know who the hell I am. I then found out that our political system is jacked up. The system that I thought was supposed to save us as a mass of people, make dramatic changes for the evolution of us in a positive way, I have found out, that there is a break in that system, and some of the things that I was told were definitely lies. So I am in a I don't even know what to call it, in a whirlwind. I'm lost. I'm trying to figure out what my purpose is. And so then, during all of this, guess what I decided to do? I decided to get in a relationship. Like, who does that? You're lost, you're in fear, you're scared, you don't know if you want to have children, but then you hop in a relationship. You know, I didn't know any better back then. So then I get into this relationship, and it's beyond terrible, okay? It's so bad. I'm learning things about myself, okay, that shocked the hell out of me. You know, I met a side of April that I did not like. I became this angry person with a terrible attitude, was kind of verbally abusive, you know. So I have all of this on top of me trying to figure out why I'm here, why I'm born into this crazy ass world. So I fall into this mode of deep depression. I mean, it's deep and it's dark and it was ugly. And so it got to the point to where I didn't even want to get out of bed. I wasn't getting out of the bed to eat, say hello, you know, F you, whatever. I wasn't involved, interacting with anyone. I didn't want to. I was just in a very dark space. So it got to the point to where I started losing weight. I mean, at this point, you know, I'm like 20. So I'm like... My weight is averaging between 118, 124 pounds. And back then, I was purely muscle. Like, no fat nowhere. I know, way back then. And so, at this point, I dropped down to 90 pounds. Okay? And as you see, I already have a big head. So, at 90 pounds, my head was huge. You can see my shoulder bones. Like, it was disgusting. And then so as I'm going through this whole dark spell internally, then I turn around and my cousin passes away. So I'm just like, what in the hell? And I mean, this is a close cousin. You know, he was everything to me. And at the time he was 21, I was 20. So I was just like, oh my God. What do I do now? Like, I'm in a crisis. Where do I go from here? I don't want to die. I want to keep living. You know, at that time it was a gift and a curse because I was living like I was dead, you know, but actual death reminded me that I still wanted to be here. So what do I do? And whatever I do, it has to be drastic and it has to be done now because I was feeling like shit and I was in a really dark place. So what did I do? I packed up my stuff and I went to California. Packed up my things and I went to California and I tried to leave this terrible relationship. It didn't work out, but anyway, so I get to California, and so now I'm still fighting this depression because, mind you, as I said, I've been depressed for like several months at this point. So now depression is a habit, okay? It is something that I lived every day, and now I'm no longer conscious of it because it's been a habit for so long. It is now rolled over to my subconscious, okay? So it's like breathing to me to be in this state. And what a terrible state to be in. So even through the depression, I started nurturing myself, you know, and I started with my weight. My weight was a huge problem. So I was like, you know, I need to feel better about myself. So if I look better, I'll feel better. And so I started doing experiments with my body because I wanted to put on weight. But I wanted to put on weight in a healthy way. And then too, I'm not really big on sweets and all of that. So I really had to do the research and test foods out on my body to see how it would respond. That journey ended up working out, by the way. So, like I said, I was in a dark place, verbally abusive, trying to figure out how to get out of that. So I started doing what I do best, which is read. I'm a researcher, okay? Like, when it comes to any topic that I'm curious about or that, raises a flag, inspires whatever, I'm out here and I'm going to do the research. So what I started doing was researching. And the thing that I started with, right, because let me tell y'all, I was raised Christian, and so we were kind of taught that, like, people with psychic abilities, that you are possessed by the devil, and, metaphysical subjects such as astrology and all this stuff, you shouldn't be doing it. So my problem with that was, okay, first of all, Michael Jordan, I grew up in that era. Michael Jordan was the man with the master plan back then. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody has skills like Michael. You know what I mean? So is Michael the devil? Because God gave him those skills and didn't give to everybody else? Because I was taught that if you're a psychic, you know what I mean, you're of the devil, because God wouldn't give you those traits and not give them to other people. That's what I was taught. So then Michael Jordan must be the devil. I'm the devil because I was having, psychic experiences. And then, so it runs in the family, So my journey went to studying all these things that I was told were dark subjects. And I went there. I was bold enough to go there, scared at the same damn time, but I was bold enough to go there. And let me tell you guys something. At a time when I was lost and confused and not knowing myself, that's a scary thing, to not know yourself. You know what I mean? And to react to certain situations and not even know you were going to react like that. That's some scary-ish, to not know yourself, let me tell you. So I bumped into astrology, and astrology gave me an explanation of myself that I don't believe that I could have got from anywhere else. Right, MJ? I don't believe that I could have got this from anywhere else. Astrology explained a lot of the inner turmoil I was feeling. Man, I can't even. It saved my life, basically, to get to the point. Astrology saved my life. So at this point, I just want to use astrology because, as I said, this first video or this first show is about you guys getting to know me as a person, the good, the bad, the ugly, the real. Okay? So I'm going to use astrology to describe myself and how it was written. It was written in the stars that this is what I am supposed to be doing. This is what makes my heart smile. This is what feeds my spirit. This is what elevates my soul, is life coaching. Seriously. Okay? And so just to get into astrology, there is nothing spooky about astrology. Astrology is strictly a science. It is the study of the plants. The plants. There is plant astrology too. But astrology is the study of the planets and their positions during the time of your birth and the energy that can be formed in different arenas in your life because of the positions. That's just a real short, brief definition. So I just want to honor that too, because I went through a lot of dark, ugly things in my life. And now that I'm consciously aware and awake, I realized that I had to go through those things so that I could be the best me for you guys. So, I could relate. I can have compassion. I can love you guys, when it's hard for you to love yourself because you're so upset or, whatever you're feeling that's negative about your life experience. I'm that person that's going to help you through it. right? So let's get started. So first of all, my sun sign, right? With your sun sign are the traits and the characteristics that you have as like tools to help you on this journey, right? Mine is in Gemini. And Gemini is the communicator of the zodiac, right? We are here to give you the information, honey, whether it's controversial or not, okay? Let me give you some examples. Tupac, Kanye West, and the infamous Donald Trump. Those are some examples of Gemini. So I'm definitely here to communicate. And the moon sign, which is how we deal with and express our emotions, mine is in Pisces. So I'm a very sensitive thug. I'm very intuitive. I'm super compassionate, and I have a lot of empathy for the human experience. Definitely. And there is no judgment at all. I don't play that judgment crap. Plus, it's too much responsibility to be judging people, for real. And then my midhaven, all right, which is where most people find what they're good at as far as careers or their purpose for, for your purpose and how you can better serve humanity, further human consciousness, okay? And so mine is in Cancer, as well as my Venus, which is how I give love, how I am in love relationships. All of this is in my midhaven. So I am the nurturer. I'm like the mother, the human mother. I want to make sure everybody's taken care of. I'm super detail orientated when it comes to people's lives and helping them manage their lives and become the person that they want to become. Okay? Another thing is that I'm made up of so many mutable signs, right? So what that means is that, to me, change is like washing your hair. It's like breathing. It's what you do. It's inevitable. Face it. Don't run from it, because change, it has to happen. I mean, how do you live a life without change? It's not possible. Well, not the life that you want to live. You can't. I mean, you can stay stuck in the same place, but nobody wants to be there. Nobody. So I am totally about change. But then what kind of, throws a wrench in that is my Mercury, which Mercury is how you think. My Mercury is in Taurus. And so as we know, Taurus is here to preserve the traditions, right? So Taurus is very, very slow to change. Taurus doesn't like change. To some extent, the Taurus feels like change is like breaking the rules. You know what I'm saying? It means a lack of stability, kind of. So that placement definitely helps me out and helps me help you, because once I find a system of how to help clients change their habits and behaviors, then I am stubborn and gonna stick on that path on a steadfast level. And I am going to be very persistent and patient and systematic about getting my client through this process, right? And so I'm able to write programs, and this is so important. I'm able to write programs that will really help and facilitate change, but in a realistic way. In a realistic way. I'm not going to tell you, you're feeling sad today, so I just want you to be happy. No, I'm going to tell you you're feeling sad today, so instead of feeling sad, maybe we could just feel some kind of way. Maybe just a little irritated, and from a little irritated, maybe just content, where you don't feel bad, you don't feel good. And, and then we climb our way up to the ladder. Small steps make big changes. Okay, so now I've given you a little overview, a slight overview of Miss April Bassette. And so now I just want to talk a little bit about the show and what we're going to be doing. So the show is kind of going to mirror my practice. Get Your Life with April Bassette. Don't you love that title? Get Your Life. It's going to mirror my practice. So I'm going to be talking about trendy topics in the areas of health, relationship, finance, and life in general. Okay, so I will be doing interviews with people. Some of those interviews are going to be rainbows and peaches, and some of them are going to be like, oh my God, are they really talking about that? Like, that is some dark shit she just went through. Her childhood was terrible. It was terrible. But the whole goal is to inspire people to change, and inspire you to be the best you that you can be. That is the whole purpose of all of this, okay? And so my next show, what we're going to be talking about is the finance arena of You Thrive and Get Your Life. So we're going to be discussing why some people are not making as much money as they would like to be making, why some people are in financial ruins, and on top of that, we're going to be talking about credit repair. So we got some nice little beautiful secrets to tell you guys. We got a wealth of information coming. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up and let you guys know that you are loved. Okay, so love, peace, and bliss to everyone. Have a great day. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see y'all soon. Have a good one. Bye.